Welcome to this explainer, where today we're looking at how a little supernatural meddling, a mix of a very specific plan and some, well, huge mistakes, ends up driving the entire plot of one of the most famous comedies ever written. So, what happens when a magical plan goes, well, perfectly wrong? We're diving into a world where fairies treat meddling in human affairs kind of like a sport. It's all powered by a king's super strategic plan and then a mischievous sprite's, let's just say, chaotic execution. It's really a story of intent versus error. All right, so our story really begins with the architect of chaos himself, Oberon. He's the powerful and, frankly, super manipulative king of the fairies. He's the one who gets this whole magical mess started. Now, you have to understand, Oberon isn't just some prankster messing around. No, his magic is always intentional. It's a tool. It's always a calculated move designed to get him exactly what he wants, whether that's revenge, control, or even his own weird version of benevolence. There's always a reason. So, his grand scheme has two totally different parts. On one hand, you've got this cruel, calculated plot for revenge against his queen, Titania. But then, on the other hand, there's this surprisingly, well, nice part of the plan, where he wants to help out a human who's been rejected in love. But let's be absolutely clear. His main goal, his number one priority, is to completely humiliate Titania. His whole plan is to make her fall head over heels in love with something absolutely vile, all so he can blackmail her into giving him this changeling boy he wants. Okay, so now let's bring in the agent of all this chaos, Puck, who you might also know as Robin Goodfellow. He's the spirit of mischief, and his whole role here is basically to be the chaotic amplifier for Oberon's super specific scheme. And what's so fascinating about Puck is his duality. You see, to his master Oberon, he's this merry wanderer of the night, a jester whose whole job is to be amusing. But to the humans in the villages, oh, he's a shrewd and knavish sprite, a genuine figure of fear. Two very different sides. His usual pranks, they're all about causing a bit of household havoc. We're talking about things like messing with the butter churn so it won't work, or turning into a roasted crab apple in someone's drink just to make them spill it everywhere. He'll even pull a stool out from under an old ant just for a laugh. It's all about wild magic bursting into the ordinary human world. But then, everything changes. Oberon gives him a new task to handle the benevolent part of the plan, the part with the human lovers. And this is where Puck makes one single pivotal mistake, a mistake that kicks off the entire central conflict of the story. And right here, this is where it all happens. You have Oberon's very calculated strategic plan crashing head-on into Puck's chaotic, clumsy error. And the result? It's a perfect storm of magical mayhem. The tool for all this meddling is the juice from a magical flower called love in idleness. It's basically the engine of all the chaos in this play. Its power is simple, but wow, is it effective? It completely rewrites who you love. It turns real, rational affection into a totally absurd infatuation with the very first thing you see when you wake up. And the fallout from Puck's mistake is, well, it's instant and it's brutal. He puts the potion on the wrong guy, Lysander. So Lysander, who was deeply in love with Hermia just moments before, wakes up and his love has curdled into this violent, potent hatred. He literally calls her a loathed medicine. Just wow. And you'd think they'd try to fix it, right? Well, their attempt to fix the mistake just makes everything a million times worse. The potion ends up on Demetrius, too. So now you have this insane situation where both guys are passionately chasing after Helena, and poor Hermia is left completely abandoned and insulted. And Puck's reaction to all this? It just shows you how detached these fairies are from human feeling. He looks at the chaos, the heartbreak, the anguish that he created, and he's not sorry at all. He's entertained. He's watching it all like it's a fantastic play, famously saying, "Lord, what fools these mortals be." But this level of total chaos can't go on forever. So now the exact same magical forces that made this giant mess have to figure out how to clean it up and somehow engineer a happy ending. When Oberon sees that the four lovers are about to actually start physically fighting each other, he realizes he has to step in. His job instantly changes from being the architect of the chaos to being the crisis manager. So he tells Puck to keep these testy rivals from actually hurting one another. And how does Puck do it? He uses what he's best at, mischief.
He leads them on a wild chase through the woods, mimicking their voices, running them around in circles until they're all so tired they just collapse.
And once all the mortals are passed out from exhaustion, the magic can finally be fixed. That huge, chaotic knot gets untangled, the love potion is corrected, and everything is set right. We finally have a harmonious outcome, with the four lovers perfectly paired up.
And the fairies' last act in the story is actually a really kind one. They show up to bless the couples, promising them true and lasting love. So in the end, they go from being these agents of pure chaos to being the guardians of romantic harmony.
And that's really the key takeaway here. The magical meddling, all that chaos that came from Oberon's plan and Puck's mistake, it wasn't just a random side plot. It was actually the essential mechanism needed to sort out all the lovers' problems and get them to their happy ending. Which really leaves us with one last question to think about. Was all of this chaos a necessary evil, a sort of complicated way of getting everyone paired up correctly? Or was it all just a cruel game played by powerful beings who see human lives as nothing more than a fond pageant for their own entertainment?